On my way to the Poconos. I left the Meadows. It was a long night, man. What a day. I'll run it all through for you here in just a second. I'm supposed to get to the Meadow. I'm supposed to get to Poconos at 4 minutes after 2, and it is 3 minutes to 11. So if I do my math right, 3 hours and 5 minutes away from the Poconos. I just opted to go there tonight. What was I going to do? Sleep over, get up at 7, and drive there? I'm not feeling that. So, although I was tired, my shoulder was sore a little bit after the races, and been a while since I drove that many horses on a card. I didn't realize I had that many drives until I got there. A little bit tired, but on my way, and I think I'll be fine to get to the Poconos tonight. Now, went to the barn today. I was very, very happy with the way that Renegade Gypsy and Purple People Eater trained today. Very, very happy with both of them. Yes, they're in a tough spot racing for 300 on next Saturday. Yes, it is tough. But this falls under, we have to play the hand we're dealt. And, I shouldn't complain. We have 4 horses in the Super Finals next week. 4. So we really shouldn't complain. We work all year to get to this point. Just the way that it mathematically shook out, I would rather race them in the Consolation and the Buckeye Final, but it just didn't work out that way. So the only horse that was allowed to do that this year was Irresistible Sun. So we have a number of horses going postward for added money events next weekend. I went to the Meadows today. I thought I left in enough time. I had to send the wires for the filly we bought and for Serious Dragon. So for Oh Hill No and Serious Dragon, sent those wires out. It's a long weekend. I want to get it done. Went over to the Meadows. Now, for anybody that's ever traveled from Northfield to the Meadows, the highway, the toll highway, the turnpike, whatever. It's a toll road. So as you get close to the booths, they split usually to 2 or 3 lanes that are like easy pass, and you have to take the ticket, right? And the other 2 lanes over on the side usually are for easy pass only. The problem is that traffic kind of snarls as people are stopping to take tickets, or pay, I suppose, at that area, I guess. It slows down. It just never dawned on me. I knew there'd be a little traffic, but I sat there 30 to 40 minutes. I had enough time to get my suit out because I knew I was going to be tight for time. I had enough time to get my suit out and put it on in park, virtually. At that time in park, really. But creeping along to the toll booth. It had to be 2 miles, maybe 3 miles of traffic. I was a little surprised. There's got to be a more efficient way to do that, you would think. No idea how, but it's problematic. You wait in traffic for 35 minutes on a Friday afternoon. So I literally got to the track at 5:04. First post time is 5:10. They post right around 5:08. I blew the breathalyzer, went right to my horse, and went out the track. So I was very happy and fortunate, appreciative that the judges allowed me to drive the horse, knowing the circumstances. It does happen, traffic in that area and stuff. It does happen. You try not to let it happen, but I did feel I left in lots of time. In hindsight, I did not. So we'll rectify that for next time. Go out the track with Stay Close. Now, Stay Close, since coming to the States, has been razor sharp. Even in a loss last week, here's a horse that come over, crushed them 2 starts in a row, and then, of course, class doesn't fill. Take him down to Scioto, because it doesn't fill this weekend. Then if you wait for it the next weekend, it doesn't fill again. Now you're going on 3 weeks, right? It turns out we were able to get him in at Scioto, put him in to go at Scioto, and draws a 9-hole. And then subsequently gets a little butchered. And it wasn't Kane's fault, just the way it shook out. He's a rickety going horse to begin with, and until you get a real feel for him at top speed, it's hard to explain what he does, and ended up getting parked raced as hard as he could, finished 5th. Great race. If he hadn't missed a week, it would have been okay, but they did need to fill that class. You don't want it not to fill, and they went with 5 in the class tonight. I think there's 6. I think it was 5, which they don't generally do. So stay close. He was on the track. It's hard to tell if he's on his game until you get into the race, right? Because he just got such a bumpy way of going. You'd be like, I don't know, might be good. I timed the gate with him, got away real strong from the inside, but I could tell he wasn't quite himself coming off the car. Might need to be shod. You know, I think we did his knees before he left Ontario. That left foot bothers him sometimes. He's prone to bruising in there. Just minor stuff, but I think he's due to be touched up. Due for a little attention. Little pedicure. Needs some shoeing and some vet work done. But fought on tough down the lane. Man, he's a tough horse. You can tell, you know, I tell you guys all the time, I love horses that try. There is never any doubt if Stay Close is trying. He was trying tonight and just got picked off at the wire, but raced very, very good. Really proud of him. Nothing But a Dreamer was up next. He actually raced good. I should have let him rock down the backstretch like I did last week. I let that horse up into my grill in the last turn. Now, Nothing But a Dreamer runs in a little bit, gets out of gear a little bit, and then he did come back on down the lane, but that horse already got me headed. If I don't let him up near me getting into the last turn, he might inch closer, but he would not have got me tonight. I think that was an error on my part. I wasn't very happy, because I'll get to what happened during the first 5 races. Many of you that were home keeping score know what took place. And worth noting, when I got to the track and realized I knew we had our horses in, and I knew I had other drives, but I didn't realize I had 11 drives on a Friday evening, and then get off the track at 20 after 9 and drive 5 hours to the Poconos. I'm going to be tired when I get there, but that's the way it is. And I'll tell you, my shoulder, it was bugging me for the last few months, and it certainly was bugging me tonight after the 12th race, I can tell you that. So Nothing But a Dreamer races, finished a 2nd. You see a trend forming. Rode the track with I had 2 horses in between our next horse, 1 horse. So now I'm 2nd in the first race, 2nd in the 2nd race, 2nd in the 3rd race. Rode the track with Major Megan. Looks like the 2 horses the best. Put her up on the front. Man, she's a lazy bugger on the front. I had to work on her. I told Tim, maybe hood with cups, a little hole in the corners. She just wasn't on her toes and let that horse sneak through the inside of her. Another 2nd. Now, I don't want to be greedy, right? Don't be whiny when you finish 2nd a bunch of times, but I was getting that way. A little chippy. Rode the track with the next one. 2nd again. 5 races, 5 seconds. Come off the track, and I said, when you win 5 races, especially in a row, which is so rare, you feel great. 5 seconds in a row feels nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm starting to get a little bridesmaid-itis. I wasn't very happy about it, but that was rectified quickly with a couple of bad finishes, and then I was wanting to go back to the seconds again. Went out on the track, I watched Really Don't Care race. It scratched down to a field of 4. 1 made a break. She was beat soundly for 2nd. She picked up $7 or $8 grand, and in hindsight, probably had no right to be in the Sire Stakes other than there was a bunch of fillies missing, and it was in an obscure track, Batavia. But nevertheless, that's part of managing and racing. I don't regret racing her there. One second. The alternative would have been the Now-Horse 2, which I think she would have mopped, but that only would have netted her $4,500 or $4,700 or something. So obviously, mathematically, the better choice was to race. Not by much, though, because we had to pay $1,038.70 to race her. So not by much, but still a better choice, I believe. So she raced well. Then Cupid comes out, and I'm like, come on, Cupid. I really thought that Austro went first. I was going to say, I think Austro went first. Around the last turn, I came with him. I didn't pull the earplugs to head lane. I wish I had come, wide open with him in the last turn. I guess most of this is hindsight stuff. I've never seen him get swallowed up like that, but I've never really had him in that position, I guess. And also, those are aged horses, right? So, a great race for him, and it was nice. I would have liked to see him go out with a win, because I believe he probably will sell on Monday. I would have liked to see him go out with a win, but nevertheless, I won't forget racing him. He's just been a really, really nice horse for us. And tonight was that third put him over $100,000 made in life by Austral Hanover. So, been a good horse for us, meant a lot for us, and forevermore, when we talk about horses that train down terrible and end up being nice horses, he'll be on the front of the list, because he was definitely a terrible horse training down, and as I said many times, turned into one of my favorite horses to drive over the last 2 years. So he likely will sell on Tuesday. I hope he goes to a nice place, and wish everybody luck with him, because he is a sweetheart of a horse to drive. Then we went out with another horse who's become a bit of a sweetheart for us, Cupid Express. Just blasts out of the 8-hole, controls the race, and drives away like she was 1-9. She has turned into a very, very nice mare for us, a nice filly for us, and we should have a lot of fun with her moving forward. Man, she raced very, very, very good tonight, and literally jogged in the race in the 11th in the Meadows. Our only blemish of the night, our only horse that did not hit the board, was the only horse that did not hit the board. Which way was I supposed to go there? Oh, good thing I looked. Altoona. Good thing I looked in a big hurry. I was going the wrong way. Our only blemish of the night was Tailgate Buzz. I thought he was a little flat. I thought there was some stuff we could work on. His feet still felt like they were bugging him a little bit. We've been tinkering with his shoes. He always wore aluminums, but we had flip-flops on him at one point. Then we just had a little little bar on him. And I wasn't a big fan of the bar, and I don't know if he was better with it on. His best racing was the 2 or 3 starts right before we had to scratch him in Philadelphia. And quite frankly, he's been a little flat since then. So he's close. He's on the precipice. I think needs a little vet work done for the final. I would say his hocks need done, and maybe his feet need addressing. But aside from that, he just seemed a tiny bit flat tonight. I think the feet would do it. They've done it. He's a trotter, so they would do it. Now we are going to a much more forgiving surface in the Poconos, or whoever buys it in the Poconos next week. I suspect, do a little work on his feet and his hocks, and I think the horse will be just fine. My 2 cents. So that was it for the Meadows. For me, I had 11 drives. I had a win, 5 seconds, 2/3. That's 8 out of 11 in the top 3. Not bad. Not a bad night. Tailgate Buzz was our only real blemish. The other 2, I think, were long bombers anyway that I was driving. So a decent night at the Meadows. Now, driving home, Ollie's first game was tonight. They won 13-2. Ollie struck out his first 2. Wasn't on the top of his game, but third time through the lineup, he had a screamer up through the middle, got a double, scored some runs, and his team won. I'm very happy to see that. I hope they win tomorrow also, so I can watch him play Sunday and hopefully Monday. That would be great. So watched his team win. The Jays were winning, so it was a good night in that regard. Then I got to watch JK Victory, and somebody had sent me a message and said, Little Rocket Man is JK Victory's brother. Did you know that? And I didn't process it right away, but I did know that when we bought him. JK Victory and Little Rocket Man are brothers, which is obviously one's a little faster than the other one, but nevertheless, they are brothers. JK Victory raced good. I knew in the half only come up 55-3. That far turn, he still softens a bit in that turn. You'll note he always does better when he's over the half, like 53 in a piece. When he gets into a dogfight, when he gets into a grudge match, that's when he's good. But when you get a little mathematical masterpiece 26-3, 55-3. A great job by John DeLong on the front. I knew when he stepped on the gas in the last turn we were going to be in trouble. Kind of loses attention as he throws a quick right hook at him getting into the last turn. And John's driven the horse. He knows the horse. Although JK Victory wasn't really his biggest concern at that point, it wasn't really hard to put him to rest. Just drop the hammer in the far turn and you're going to leave him in your dust. And that's exactly what he did. So JK Victory hung on tough. Fourth, and really only beat, 3/4 of a length for second. Raced good again, continues to race good in that tough class. They are good horses in there. Kings County raced good. Wouldn't say awesome, raced good. Second and 52-4, 3 wide down the backstretch. I don't want to sound like a goof, but I just thought he just feels like maybe one of those spark plugs is a little rusty on the older fella. But again, usually last year his forte would be kind of grind them up, right? Muscle his way to the front and give it to them. And tonight, quite a little bit different. Brett drove him very well. Ended up second over, 3 wide down the backstretch and closing in. He raced good, especially since he's been off 2 weeks almost. So I guess I wasn't giving him enough credit. The horse raced good. Ended up second in 52-4. And then Tactical Mounds, Scotty drove her pretty easy. I think she was 5th closing in. They're going right to the final pretty much. So I thought she raced well. The fastest last quarter of her life. And I was listening to it. I believe they said 1:27-3, a mile and 54-3. So she trotted her last quarter, had to trot her last quarter in 26 and a piece, which is a huge step forward for her. So she is really, really, really rounding in to being a very, very nice filly. And although she was 5th, beat some in the race, I think she is a contender in the final, and I can't wait to see her race next week. So that is it. 10 up, 10 down. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 up, 10 down tonight. We had second, third, winner, 7th, 4th, 2nd, 5th. So pretty good night. Pretty good night overall. I'm really excited about tomorrow's racing. We're going to race our girl Insider Trading. We have some horses racing at the Meadows. Chris Lenz is going to go over and drive them. I'll give him a call tomorrow. JK Mickey Mantle, just looking for a good mile. Just a mile where you look at it and say, we can build from there. That's the kind of mile I'm looking for tomorrow from JK Mickey Mantle. Patrick the Piranha, I just want to see him raced conservatively and put in a good effort. We know he will. He's a good horse. Smoking Hot Irish Girl, I think, will be very, very good tomorrow. She was great last week, and I think she'll have a very good mile in store for everybody tomorrow. Memory and Imagination. 8 holes suck. We get 2 8 holes in the poconos tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know both of those horses, Insider Trading and Memory and Imagination, will put forth very, very strong efforts because they've been good all year long. I'm Fancy Like his low odds tomorrow. She should be good. Brace for Landing again. I thought we were going to put him in the New Jersey Sires, but at the same time, I'm glad Megan didn't. There's some killers in there. Some real tough horses in there, and there's going to be some tough horses in the final and the consolation. So the place that she has him for Saturday actually is a much better place. So good luck to all my partners with Brace for Landing, and then No Free Lunch will end out the night on a high note. Sunday we got Spitfire, just looking for a little bone and a good mile from him. Militant, Pickpocket, and Per Lucky to round out the weekend. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to continue on my way. In 2 hours and 40 minutes, 50 minutes, I should be there. And up tomorrow. We'll sleep in a little bit, hopefully. Up tomorrow and looking for some luck at the Meadows. Some luck. So with that, I'll let you go. I hope you had a wonderful night. We did have a very good night at the office, and it all starts again tomorrow. Take care.